Hi, Mark McPherson here, just with a few words about how the art of mastering tough conversations fits into the framework of developing and maintaining a respectful workplace. Now, from my side of things, I don't think it really matters if we're talking about leadership, management, customer service, employee engagement, teamwork, or developing and maintaining a respectful workplace. Because in all of those contexts, mastering tough conversations is essential, as is mastering all sorts of conversations. So let's just have a few words now about how my approach to mastering tough conversations fits into this framework, if you like, of developing and maintaining a respectful workplace. To start off with, conversations are happening more and more and more. We've got to be really careful with them. I often tell the story that when I was younger, I used to have go overseas and I'd send my parents a postcard, one postcard maybe in 6 weeks. But when email came in and then when Facebook came in, my parents, even though they were in their 90s, suddenly expected to be hearing from me on a daily basis. We're having more and more conversations with people more and more often in more and more different ways, with people who aren't in the same office, not in the same city, not in the same country. But we're having them. So we need to get them right. If you want to have a respectful workplace, we need to master tough conversations and master conversations. Now, I think there's 4 types of these tough conversations. And the first one is when we need to talk tough to people. We need to lay down the law. The second one is when we need to get people who are a bit unfocused on track, moving forward so we can get them to make a decision and come to some sort of conclusion. I think the third one for me is when we need to talk up to somebody. We need to be assertive, but we need to be very careful because there potentially are consequences. Maybe it's not up, it could be to a client or a supplier or a customer. We need to be very careful. And the fourth one is where there's high emotions involved. It's where we need to talk to someone about perhaps their personal hygiene. Now, I think these 4 types of conversations are actually different. And if we want a respectful workplace, we have to master them. But I think there's 3 big problems or 3 big mistakes that we often make. And the first one is we sometimes name call or label people. Now, we all like to think, oh, we wouldn't be doing that. Well, unfortunately, we do. I hear it all the time at staff meetings and conversations where people just say little things. They don't mean any harm by it, but it's not respectful when you say, oh, that's just being silly. That's ridiculous. Oh, what a time waster. These are labels which may well be true, but they are not helpful if you're developing a respectful workplace. I think the second mistake we make is we try and analyse people. It seems to be a very natural part of our human mind up here to sort of work out why people are doing things. Oh, they're jealous of my job. That's what's happened. Oh, they were trying to get my job, but they didn't get it. I see what's going on. Oh, probably bad things at home. Now, these might be true, but if you want a respectful workplace, cut the analysing because you might be wrong. Not only that, if you let these things sort of slip out, then you can be in trouble. Because people take offence to them, and then you most certainly won't be showing respect. And the third thing I think is a mistake is that we don't use our non-verbals very well. Now, I stuff up with my non-verbals all the time, as all of us do, but I try really hard to get them right. So there's a few issues with non-verbals. We'll talk about those sometime if you like, but just one of them is when we need to be congruent. Congruent. If we're excited about something, look excited. If we're pleased to see people, look pleased. If it's a serious matter, let's treat it as seriously as we can. So our non-verbals are really important. If we're talking about something going up, let's talk about it going up. If we talk about something that's down, let's talk about it going down. If we talk about the past, let's talk about it. If we talk about the future, let's move on. Let's be congruent. And we need to be synchronous, and we need to assign positives and negatives to things correctly, and we need to associate positives and negatives correctly, and we need to anchor terms and concepts, and we can talk about those another time. So, getting back to our respectful workplace. I think there's 3 things that keep us when we're trying to master our tough conversation, they keep us below the line. And those 3 things are this. Sometimes we're stressed. When we're stressed, we cannot possibly be our best. When we're trying to have conversations with people, it's easy to not be respectful. Now, even when we're cool, calm and collected, I think we're random. I don't think we're thinking very much when we're cool, calm and collected, and we can be spot on, we can be terrific, but also we can be a little bit random, haphazard, and sometimes just make mistakes. So even when we're cool, calm and collected, we need some help. And then the third stage or thing below, state of mind that we're in sometimes below the line, is that we're agitated or excited. And we may well be agitated and excited. Just people sometimes come back from a conference and they're all excited about something and they're blurting out, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Did I just say we're going to do that? I meant we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And it's not respectful when we don't consider people's feelings. This is where I think in change management we have some problems. We've got these ideas, we're just blurting ahead. People sometimes are really scared about change. So that's below the line. How do we get above the line? Well, I think there's three things. I'll try and be quick. I won't give you much detail. If you want to talk about them, make a time and book in a time for me to call you. So, first thing is we need to create the conditions for these conversations. Social conditions, physical conditions. What's the goal? What's the point of these things? Who else should be involved? What's our fallback position? If you want to be respectful, we need to get these right. And so, as I said, when we're cool, calm and collected, we get it half right. But not all the time, and we don't get them really, really, really right. The second thing is that we need to get scripts right. To me, mastering conversations is all about scripts. Why do I like scripts? Because they just keep us on track. They keep us objective. They keep us away from emotions, saying things we shouldn't say, getting agitated. They just keep us on the right track. And if we keep our scripts, and I have plenty of them, if you know me, you know that I like scripts. Once we keep scripts, when we keep to them, I think we keep ourselves on track, the other person on track, and I think we are more respectful because we keep emotion and subjectivity out of things. And the third thing is our deliveries. I think when we are delivering our conversations, we need to practice them. We need to make sure we're not name-calling, analysing. We've got to make sure that we're using our non-verbals correctly, and we anchor particular terms. If that's an anchor for we're moving ahead or we're doing great things or whatever it happens to be, I have a few little anchors like that means, cut the blah, which some of you are saying, I think he's going on a little bit now, Lee. He should cut the blah. Okay, I will. That to me is how mastering tough conversations, those three things above the line, conditions, scripts and deliveries. And I say deliveries, which is a funny word because I think we need to deliver these conversations more than once. That's why I use that plural. If you want to talk to me about any of these things, please go right ahead, go to my website, go to the contact page, book yourself in for a time when I can call you. It's never an obligation. I'm not going to try and sell you something. Let's have a talk about it. But wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have a great time. I hope everything's under control. And just remember that I think things like leadership all the way to developing and maintaining a respectful workplace, these are contexts in which mastering tough conversations really needs to occur. All the very best. Have a great time. See you later.